Hello my friends, and welcome back to the rabbit hole. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my experience using CBD internally. If you are not new to this channel, you know that I've been using and loving CBD topically for about a year at this point. I do deal with acne. CBD is an anti-inflammatory ingredient, and acne and inflammation go hand in hand. So it's been going really well for me. However, a couple months ago, I got interested in taking CBD in order to help me with my acne as well as a couple other issues I had in my life. I'm a lifelong insomniac. I've talked about this a lot. I've tried absolutely everything out there and just kind of had accepted I was going to deal with insomnia for the rest of my life. I deal with stress. I don't really know if I need to say more on that because it is the year 2020 and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I admit to you that I was kind of a little nervous about trying CBD. I was looking for all kinds of other people's experiences to help me kind of feel more comfortable with trying this. As you know, in my head I was thinking, am I really going to see these benefits on the stress and insomnia in my life, or is the world going to turn into an Alex Grey painting? So my goal in today's video is I want to take you guys through why I started taking CBD, what happened, and my results at around 2 months of use. So let's go ahead and start with why I started taking CBD. So I talk a lot about skincare on this channel, and I talk a lot about why it's so important for me personally to look at the ingredients, go to the primary literature, really look at the research on ingredients. And to be honest with you, I was a little bit of a skeptic with CBD for some pretty good reason, and that is that there is not a lot of scientific research at this point. And this makes perfect sense because CBD as an ingredient, while legal now, it's pretty recent. So of course, you know, the scientific research has to catch up. We're really getting a chance to see how slow research is as the world very impatiently awaits a rather important vaccine. That's science. It's slow. And with CBD, the endocannabinoid system was only discovered in the 90s. This whole world is very new to us. However, the limited research was very promising for specifically my issues with my skin. Like I mentioned in the intro, I do deal with acne and inflammation, so I thought, you know, the nice thing about CBD is that it looks like there's really no major drawbacks. And again, if you're subscribed, you know how important this is to me. And while I was doing all this research for topical CBD at this point, I kept coming across experiences of people who were saying, you know, it's nice topically, but I really saw the results when I started taking it internally. So of course I started looking up internal CBD, and that's how I discovered that this is an ingredient that people take for anxiety, for stress, for sleep. Did I see my ears perk up? If you don't deal with insomnia, as we like to say here in the South, bless your heart, it's a real struggle. You know, I go to lay down hoping that I can fall asleep as easily as my partner, who I just watch fall asleep every single night. But instead, my brain wants to throw a party, I guess. Many times, my brain is sitting there going, hey, I think we need to come up with ways to take over the world. I guess my brain is brain. Other times, my brain likes to revive memories from kindergarten. Hey, remember that time that you did something really embarrassing and all the kids laughed at you? Oh, and sometimes my brain likes to be a DJ all night long, and it is not a good DJ. So I really circled right back around to this whole, well, it looks like there's not really any major risks with trying this. The only real con is CBD is kind of pricey. That's the biggest con that I can personally give you. So, you know, I figured I would go for it, but my initial CBD purchase admittedly was a safe purchase. I initially bought the Lord Jones Royal Oil, which is 1,000 milligrams, in nothing more than grapeseed oil. That's it, CBD and grapeseed oil. And the nice thing about this product for me, from this perspective that I had at this time, was that if I ended up not liking the internal effects of this, I could just use it topically on my skin. Super low irritant product here, just seemed like a really safe option. So let's talk about what happened when I tried it. Okay, so I had asked a lot of people in my life who I knew had tried CBD, what is it like? And the only answer that people were giving me was, well, it kind of makes you calm, man. Which is exactly what they told me in college, and they lied. But really importantly, CBD is not THC. In fact, it's not legal if the THC content is over, I believe, 0.3%. So we are talking about something very different from college. Now, I admit to you that up front, I was really confused about dosage. And if that's part of the reason you're here, join the party. I think, again, I think that with the research being so new, I think we're kind of playing a little bit of a find your correct dosage game over here. I had found studies that used 600 milligrams a day, which is astronomically expensive and high. I'll actually link you a study that used 25 milligrams a day because I think that that is a much more reasonable study, and they still did find great results. So what I ended up settling on was roughly 20 milligrams initially. And my first experience using this, I remember being nervous up front and wondering what was going to happen. The reason that people only tell you that it calms you is because it's really hard to describe the effects on you. You really don't actually feel anything. However, I slept better, and that was my goal. The first time I ever tried this, I was thinking, please help me to sleep, and I did. I had a very restful night. I did not feel tired the next day, and I didn't feel different. So naturally, I was pretty committed to the long haul of this. Again, since I had initially bought a multi-purpose product, I was dropping it on my face, holding it under my tongue, which is the recommended way to take, I think, most CBD. You hold it under your tongue for about 30 to 60 seconds and then swallow. So I was doing that not consistently, but I'd say maybe once every 2 to 3 days when I was thinking in my head, we need a good night's sleep. We need a good night's sleep. So after about a month of using the Lord Jones kind of more intermittently, this company reached out to me at Jupiter, and I was really excited to have them contact me because, again, I'm over here as a CBD newbie. I don't really know where to start, but I liked their direction. First off, they use CBD, a strain of CBD that is specifically targeting stress. They use only the flower portion, which they say contributes to the taste, and I can very much confirm that, although granted, the taste of this is just worlds different, as you might expect. This is a mint flavor, and the other one is just CBD in grapeseed oil. I probably don't need to explain to you which one tastes better. And they had complete lab tests available and better prices per quantity of CBD. So I figured, yeah, I'm gonna give this a try. And something I really wanted to do when they sent this to me was be consistent about taking this. And for me, that is really where I started to see the major changes in my life. This is where I started to actually have a normal sleep schedule. What? So let's go ahead and talk about my final results here. My basically 2-month results, but 3 weeks of daily use. What has changed in my life? So the major thing, like I just said, is that it's like I don't have insomnia anymore, which I really don't have words for. Importantly, everybody is different. And it's hard to say if this could be as game-changing for those of you watching as it's been for me, but as somebody who's tried absolutely everything, where was this my whole life? Oh, right, not legal. We've had this conversation and we've lamented it greatly. Let's move on. In terms of stress, some of you guys have noticed that I've been a lot more peppy lately. And again, it's hard to say what the direct cause of that is because I did have a pretty bad product-related breakout, which certainly put my mood a bit down in the dumps. And coincidentally, that's about the same time that I started taking this. So removed a product, mood boost, which is going on here. Difficult to say, but I do absolutely feel that I've just kind of been not as worried. It's a little bit like the stereotype, the stereotype, but not as intense, not this whole like, oh, I'm not gonna work anymore, or whatever people used to have in those commercials. What are those that I'm thinking of? Is it the Dare commercials? Do you remember those? The egg brain? But just kind of more like, I don't feel like things are setting me off as much as they might, just minor things where I would suddenly feel really sad or really anxious. I feel like I'm just kind of more, it's not that big of a deal. Not every person has to leave a love comment on your YouTube videos, that type of thing. And I do want to mention the acne. I'm coming to you guys today wearing just some tinted moisturizer, so you can probably see I do have a pimple today. But compared to the way my acne used to be, oh, we are doing worlds better. Granted, I've gotten things a lot more figured out in terms of my own skin, but you know, there's a lot of things that I do for my acne, and yet I do think it's important to keep in mind that a big trigger of acne can be stress. So again, it's kind of like we're talking about the multitude of ways that stress can impact you. You know, stress can be correlated with acne, it can correlate with anxiety, it can correlate with insomnia. I think that ultimately, if somebody came up to me and was like, what has CBD done to you? I wouldn't want to give them that it makes me calm man answer. I would say it seems to help to balance the brain. And like we talked about a while ago with the endocannabinoid system and how it's connected to the brain, I feel like that explanation makes a lot of sense. You know, again, we're still in these early phases of the research, but I think that's what we're ultimately going to conclude. So if you guys are interested in either of these products, I still would recommend the Lord Jones, especially if you're on the fence about whether you'll use it topically or internally. For me, this is going to go directly to topically, and what is nice about this one, you're getting 1,000 milligrams of CBD, which there's no other CBD skincare on the market that is that high and this low in irritants. So this is officially my top pick for skincare these days. And as far as Jupiter, this is the company I'm going to stick with for CBD. It was kind of interesting. Right after I put up that CBD video, I had a couple of brands contact me, but this is the brand I went with because, again, I liked their philosophy and their approach. I do have a 10% off discount code. Please know that this video is not sponsored in any way, just a gifted product here. But yeah, this is the one I'm going to be buying in the future. I'll probably buy the high amount and just stick with that level that's working for me. The 15 to 20 milligrams is the sweet spot for me. So I hope this video is helpful. I hope it answers some questions that you have. If you do have any further questions, ask in the comments. And if you've had any experiences with CBD, you know what to do. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.